everyone! My name is Paige, and I'm from Tennessee. Please like and subscribe. My mom was a former beauty queen, and I was born with the same gorgeous looks. Everyone thought I'd follow in her footsteps. I loved being admired and getting attention until I got interested in what my dad did. He was an important politician who worked very closely with the president, and growing up, I wanted to be more like him. But Mom was more keen on teaching me how to put on makeup and walk in heels. I was only 8 when she started taking me for modeling classes. The instructors tried teaching me how to catwalk and pose in front of the camera, but I would deliberately strike the dumbest poses, and they'd all give up.
Why do you do this every time, Paige?
Because I don't want to be a model, Mom. I'd always run away from her and go and seek comfort in Dad. He'd tell me some awesome stories about work, and I'd have the best time. But eventually, Dad started climbing up powerful positions in government and got really busy, and I'd hardly get to see him. One day in 5th grade, I was decorating my house for Easter, when suddenly, I saw that half of my decorations were gone. I looked around and spotted a boy my age running away with all my decorative eggs. Hey, stop right there! I jumped onto him and pinned him to the floor. Who are you and why are you stealing my stuff?
I wasn't stealing, I swear. I'm your neighbor and I was just trying to prank you.
So you're a liar and a thief! That house has been empty for ages.
Yeah, but we just moved in, Dumbo.
But I just pulled his hair harder when his parents came running and saved him. And it turns out they indeed had moved into the house next to mine. And that boy Carson was even gonna go to the same school as me. From the very first day, he was super popular because he was cute and all the girls were buzzing around him like he was some queen bee. But since I already knew him, I wanted him to be my friend first. If you want, I can save you from all the trouble of making new friends. You can just hang out with me.
And why would I want to do that?
I held him by the collar and pulled him with me. This is my secret hideout at school, and I'm sharing it with you. So now we're friends, and you're not letting any of those girls near you. Got it?
Gosh, you're really bossy. This place is cool, so sure, it's a deal.
After that, Carson and I started hanging out together, and we became really close, and Mom didn't like it. She said it wasn't girly to have a male friend. Whatever. I'd sneak out of the house and play football with Carson. And in no time, we became the bestest of friends. And slowly, I started to fall in love with him. And that bothered Mom continuously. One night, I planned to sneak into his room to play video games. But Mom caught me and started screaming at me non-stop.
Just let her be, honey. Let her do what she likes.
Oh, Dad, you're back. Dad was rarely home, but whenever he'd be back, he'd let me do what I wanted. And I thought he was the perfect parent, unlike Mom, who always tried to boss me around. Then a few days later, I was turning 16, and I decided to tell Carson how I felt about him. But when I reached school, I saw him talking to a new girl. After she walked away, Carson turned to me and gave me the shock of my life.
She's gonna be the mother of my future kids.
You're what?
You heard it, Paige, and you're my brother. You're gonna help me get her, right?
What are you, nuts? How can you even think that?
Ah, shoot. I'm so stupid. I completely forgot you're not that much into girly stuff yourself. So I don't think you'll be that much help to me. I'll just have to win her all on my own.
Saying that he just left me there and I felt crushed. I cried my heart out in our secret spot. But then suddenly I saw a girl passing from a distance and all the boys were going crazy over her. Her name was Lola and she was an ace student. 2 weeks after joining school, she even became the cheerleading captain. I felt jealous and planned to annoy her as much as possible. I kept trying to make her look bad in front of Carson and kept failing. Did you see her today? Who wears full purple to school? She looked like a plum.
I know, right? She looks so cute.
You know, she must change boyfriends every day, given she has so many boys after her. You're just gonna get your heart broken if you chase her.
Ah, come on. You know I'm the most handsome guy at school and she's the only one who'll look good next to me.
When this didn't work, I began pranking her in the classroom so she'd lose her temper, but instead, she behaved so nicely and let it all go in good humor. One time, as she was walking inside the school, I even made a small puppy pee on her Jimmy Choos, but she just picked it up and started playing with it. God, she was an angel. It was really hard to hate her, so I decided to try something else. Pretend to be her friend. Gosh, you're so pretty and nice. I wish I could.
Hey, I'm gonna stop you right there. I'm sorry, but I'm just not into girls. But I have a friend who lives in New York, and she would totally dig you.
What? No, I'm not into girls either. Why would you think that?
'Cause you keep following me around all the time. I don't want to be rude, especially since your mom is amazing.
What? How do you know her?
Well, everyone knows about her. She was a super famous model in her time, but she gave up her career for her family. She sounds like an amazing mom.
Well, I never thought of it that way, but as we continued talking, I realized Lola was a very nice person. We often hung out together, but instead of faking it, I started to become a real friend to her. And Carson thought I was doing it all for him.
You're amazing, Paige. I can't believe you arranged a date for us.
For the last time, I didn't invite you. It's supposed to be just me and Lola. Go away. Even though I'd have so much fun with Lola, I hated Carson trying to hit on her all the time. But he'd invite himself to all the places we'd go. Soon, it was Lola's birthday, and she'd invited both me and Carson to her place. But when I reached there, I was shocked to see my dad. Dad, what are you doing here?
Paige, what? What are you doing here?
Your dad. I didn't know he was your dad.
Turns out Dad and Lola's mom were high school BFFs. And later, Lola told me my dad and her mom hung out together often, and he even helped Lola with her projects and stuff. And that made me feel really weird, given I barely saw Dad at home these days. But Dad brushed off all my doubts on her way home when he told me he was inviting Lola and her mom for a picnic to introduce them to Mom. The next day, everyone joined us on the picnic, including Carson. But the entire time, I could see Mom getting a bit jealous, seeing Dad and Lola's mom talking and laughing at a distance, and so was I. But then suddenly, Mom lost consciousness and fell to the ground. Mom, are you okay? I was devastated as we rushed Mom to the hospital, and the worst thing happened when she woke up.
Who are you?
Mom, what are you saying? It's me. The doctor came in and told us that she had amnesia, and this just broke my heart. The entire way home, Mom looked at us like she was going back home with strangers. We showed her all the family albums, but nothing triggered her memory. Lola kept calling and texting me to ask about Mom while I took some days off from school, but I didn't reply. It annoyed me that Dad and her mom were suddenly best friends, and somehow I just wanted to avoid her. One day, while Mom sat in the garden alone, I went and joined her. Mom, how are you feeling now?
I'm feeling better, but I'm sorry, I still don't remember much.
You don't have to apologize about anything. And then she asked me tons of questions, and I was happy to relive all those memories with her.
So, do you have a boyfriend?
I kinda have someone I like, but he doesn't see me as girlfriend material.
What? What do you mean? You're my daughter, and there's no way you can go unnoticed by any guy.
She pulled me into her room and gave me a makeover, and this time, I didn't say anything, 'cause I wanted to spend all the time with her and let her love me the way she wanted. The next day, when I reached school, everyone's jaw dropped, and by lunchtime, my phone and locker were full of love messages.
Whoa, you look like a whole new person, Paige. I didn't know you were.
A girl.
No, that's not what I meant.
Cut it, Carson! I'm still the same person on the inside. You know, the one you don't like is anything more than a friend, and never will.
Paige, I like you the most. You've been my favorite person ever since childhood, and I was a fool to chase Lola. But then slowly I realized I was losing you, and I don't want that. I want to be with you.
You're just telling me this because I look pretty now.
No. Trust me, Paige. You're the one I love. Even when you're in shorts and sneakers playing football. I wanted to tell you my true feelings earlier, but you were so upset with everything going on with your mom.
Listening to those words, I felt good, but something in my heart felt uneasy. So I walked away. But Carson would stop at nothing to convince me of his feelings. He'd walk back home with me every day and spend time with me and Mom. And slowly, over a couple of months, Mom's memories started to get better. She could recognize both me and Dad, and I was really happy about it. But then one day, something bizarre happened. I got home and saw Mom was crying her eyes out, and Dad and Lola's mom were also there. Mom, what's wrong? And then she told me how she found Dad making out with Lola's mom on our couch. What? Dad?
Okay, yeah, and what's wrong with that? I don't think there's anything to cry about. I love Lily and she loves me. And with your mom being so sick and all, I can't handle the pressure of my work. And the elections are coming up. I want a partner who can support me.
I couldn't believe my ears. This wasn't the same person who I'd thought of as my idol all my life. You're the worst. All this time, when Mom needed you the most, you've been cheating on her. Probably even from before that. Both of you, please get out. The two of them left, and I hugged Mom tight. Later that night, Lola called me, but I didn't pick up. She approached me in school the next day, but I started walking in the other direction.
Wait, please, just a minute.
Can't you take a hint? Lola, I don't want to hear anything you have to say. Go home and enjoy time with my dad and be a perfect family. Just stay away from me. I'd spent most of my time with Mom to comfort her, and we grew closer than ever before. Even if she hadn't always been the perfect parent, she'd always been there. A few weeks later, I came home after doing some grocery shopping when I found Lola kissing Carson in my backyard. What the heck? The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, does it? You're just like your mom.
No, Paige. I was here to warn you about this jerk, but then he just grabbed me.
What?
She's lying.
Lola said she'd rejected Carson the same day Mom fainted at the picnic.
I thought it was weird that Carson asked you out right after asking me, but I didn't say anything. But then he kept texting me and told me he was with you just to make me realize my true feelings for him. But do you know what my true feelings are for you, Carson? You're a jerk, and I hate you.
What a liar. She jumped onto me and tried to kiss me. Trust me, Paige.
But then, Lola took out her phone and showed me all of the chats, and she was right. Carson, you jerk! I can't believe I trusted someone like you and never realized what kind of person you are. Get out of my house! I pushed Carson so hard he fell on his butt and then angrily left.
Paige, I'm sorry. I know what my mom did was wrong, but I had no idea about anything going on between them. Even I hate them both for what they did.
You don't have to be sorry about anything, Lola. I know it wasn't your fault, but I took my anger out on you.
Then please, let's get back to being friends again. I'm moving out of my mom's place for college next year anyway. What our parents did doesn't have to ruin what we have. I don't want to lose a friend like you, Paige.
I don't want to lose you either, Lola. Hi, I'm Audrey. I was born in a crazy family in New York. Please like and subscribe. My Mexican mom was so proud of her language that she never wanted to learn better English. Dad would say mean things with a smile to fool her all the time, and I hated it.
Wow, this stew tastes like mud. What did you do to it, you insane woman?
What you telling me? Do you like?
Estoy contenta.
As a kid, I never had the courage to tell Mom what a jerk he was, cause I knew she'd be sad. But every time he did that and smirked at me, I knew that Mom would soon catch on to his words, and it would end bad. And over time, Mom learned more English from her neighbor friend, and she realized that all these years Dad had just been giving her hatred. Their fights got bigger, and one day, when I was in the 7th grade, Mom finally decided she wanted a divorce. When I had to choose a parent, of course, I chose Mom. We took off to Mexico that same night. Mom, are we going to Grandma's?
Oh, Misha, amor.
Grandma moved away a long time ago, but we have a new loving family here.
A new family? The cab stopped at a huge mansion, and a strange man ran towards us and hugged Mom. He also said something to me, but I didn't get a word. Mom then took me to a room, and it was all ready for me. Mom, what's going on? Who's this man? As Mom started telling her secrets one by one, I kept sinking deeper into the bed.
That's Carlos, and he used to be my boyfriend long ago. If your grandma hadn't forced me to marry your dad, we would have been a big, happy family already. And you know what? He has a son your age, Matthew.
What was I just hearing? Mom, I left my school, my friends, my whole life in New York for you, and you created your own family here and didn't even tell me about it? How could you keep all this from me? She kept explaining, but I just asked her to leave the room and slammed my door hard. It was so much to take in, and I just wanted to cry. Suddenly, I heard a loud, non-stop knocking on my door. Who is that? Okay, wait, stop that, I'm coming. I opened the door to find a boy standing outside grinning at me. Who are you, man? Lost your way?
Shouldn't I be asking you that? But your mama. Well, now our mama said,
Matthew, go meet your sister.
so here I am, Hermana.
What? Whatever, don't call me that.
Mama didn't teach you Spanish? Also, I heard New Yorkers are very stylish. But look at you. You're worse than my ex-girlfriend. Hey, that's a joke, okay? Don't cry.
Can you do me a favor and please get the heck out of here? I made him leave, but he left loads of mud on the carpet. That night at dinner, Mom introduced me to everyone, and Carlos even made a toast to me. But after that, they all started talking in Spanish. Was I invisible? I stood up to leave. Then Mom held my hand.
Where are your manners? We're having family time.
Family? You all are clearly a family, Mama. Excluding me. I don't even understand your language.
Oh, Misha, amor.
Just use the language of love. It's easy, try it.
Mom, can't you see I feel so left out? But you're just joking about it. I shook her hand off and walked up to my room. The next day, I was joining school and thought at least that would give me some relief. Until Matthew came and sat right next to me. Holy moly!
Hey, better not tell anyone we're related. And can you please wax your mustache? People will think you're me.
It's not my problem you've got a girly face. He hit my face with a book, and suddenly the teacher yelled,
What's going on there?
Ma'am, can you believe it? She's asking me to be her boyfriend. But I told her, I already have eyes for you.
I was sure the teacher was going to kick him out now, but to my surprise, she giggled.
Oh, stop it, you.
What? Who was this boy? Soon I realized Matthew was the coolest kid in school. All the girls and even the teachers adored him for his crazy jokes. Not me! I hated him even more because he spoke in Spanish with Mom every time I was around. I felt like an alien in the house. That Christmas, Carlos was gonna host a grand party, but I wasn't interested. I think I have an important exam that day, and in the evening I have dance practice.
Liar! We don't have any exams on Christmas. And dance practice. You can barely walk.
Ugh, I was gonna kill him. Seeing Mom and Carlos's faces, I could tell they wanted me to attend. So I reluctantly said yes. And the party wasn't that bad. I got to meet a handsome boy, Leo.
Hey, I know you must already have a boyfriend because you're so pretty. But I have to say, you have the most dreamy eyes. I've been watching you for hours.
OMG, that made me blush. Thanks. Actually, I don't have a boyfriend. Yet we exchanged numbers and started hanging out. He seemed really cool. But one day, when Leo and I were having lunch in the school cafeteria, Matthew appeared out of the blue and pulled me aside.
Have you gone mad? Why are you sitting with that jerk?
He's not a jerk. He's my friend. Maybe future boyfriend. And why do you care anyway?
Listen, he's not a good guy. He flirts with everyone, and God knows how many girlfriends he has.
Look, who's talking? The one who flirts with teachers. Just leave me alone, okay? I can handle my own life. I knew he just wanted to spoil my first real relationship, so I ignored him and left with Leo. After that, we started going out more often. One evening, Leo invited me to his house for a party, and I was having a great time. As we were dancing, Leo suddenly pulled me closer, and my heart skipped a beat.
Oh, Hermosa, thank God you flew all the way from New York just for me.
He held my face, and we kissed. Suddenly, someone kicked Leo hard, and he went flying into a wall. Matthew, what are you doing here?
Just protecting you from this virus.
He took my hand and started walking out, but I pushed him away. You crazy idiot! You're the virus that's destroying my life. Why can't you just let me breathe?
Breathe all you want, but see this first.
He took out his phone and showed me Leo's Instagram page. It had a video of me and him kissing under the caption, 100th kiss from a New York chick. The page had videos of him kissing 99 other girls too. It looked like one of Leo's friends here had been making our video and was broadcasting it live for him. I jumped on Leo and scratched his face.
Ah, the New York chick has gone crazy like her mad brother. Someone save me!
Shut your dirty mouth! I trusted you, you mud mind. And I started pulling his hair like crazy. Matthew gave him a nice punch and then took me home. I felt really embarrassed for not listening to Matthew before. He'd only been looking out for me. So the next day at school, I sat next to him.
Not so worried about this life-destroying virus now, yeah?
I realized it's better to have him as a friend than an enemy. I thanked him for the night before, and he just laughed and hit my face with a book again. As days passed, we became good friends. I also decided to talk to Carlos and Mom and apologize for being so neglectful. But they surprised me instead.
Princesa,
we have some exciting news for you.
Sí, mija.
Your 15th birthday is coming. And here in Mexico, we call it
Quinceañera?
But why do you want to do this for me? You know, after I've been, well, not so nice.
'Cause we're family, estúpida.
And you're no less than Matthew to me. I want to do this for my daughter.
I felt so stupid for not seeing this before. These people really cared about me, just like the family I'd always wanted. On the day of the party, I could already hear music and people laughing and talking. As I got ready, I walked out all dressed in their traditional way, and everyone clapped for me. Just then, Matthew barged into the room looking mad.
Stop the party, Papa. This girl doesn't deserve any of this love and attention.
What?
Matthew, calm down. Audrey is your...
Nothing. She's my nothing, Papa.
What's gotten into you, man? I was horrified when I saw what he had in his hand. It was my diary. Oh my God, no!
After all this effort we've been making for you, this is what you really think of us? You suck!
Matthew, enough. What are you talking about?
Oh, let me read it out loud, Papa. This place is hell on earth. I hate their food, their language, this house. Carlos is so loud and annoying. Why is he so desperate to be my dad? Probably because his own son is a loser with half a brain. They're both stupid and I deserve better.
There was a pin drop silence as everyone stared at me. You should have never taken my diary, you jerk. And yes, I wrote this, but that's when I first came here. I was having a really hard time adjusting. I was just mad, and I didn't really mean it. This is not how I feel now, Carlos. Mom, I promise, I really like being part of this family.
You're not part of this family, Audrey, and you never will be.
And before I could stop myself, I said the stupidest thing ever. Oh, shut up, Matthew. You're not part of this family either, 'cause you're adopted. It was something Mom had told me once, and Matthew didn't know about it. Now he did, because I just blurted it out. Carlos turned white, and Mom looked raging mad.
What a lame thing to say, Audrey. As if. Tell her, Papa. Papa, why do you look like that?
Oh, Matthew, I meant to tell you. On your 16th birthday. I promised I was going to, son.
Matthew looked stunned. Carlos walked over to him, but suddenly he just pushed him aside and ran out. Carlos went after him while Mom turned to me.
I raised you better than this, Audrey. But it seems you're more like your dad, hurting good people for no reason. Hurting your family. I'm so disappointed in you. Party's over, everyone.
As the guests started leaving, I ran to my room in tears. I felt terrible. Even if Matthew had read my diary, I'd done something 10 times worse. And the next day, I was back to being the alien of the house. Nobody was talking to me, and I deserved it. Matthew wouldn't even look at me in school. Anytime I went near him, he walked the other way. I tried for days to make it up to him. One evening, I sneaked into his room, finished his history paper, and left it on his desk. When he came home, he took one look at it, tore it up, and threw it in the trash. Then I had an idea for a gift that I was sure would make him forgive me. I used all my savings to get him a signed basketball from his favorite player. But when I looked into his room later, I was horrified to find him slashing it with a paper cutter. Oh my God, what are you doing? This was signed by...
I don't care. I just want you to stop doing things for me and stay out of my face.
How do I make you believe that I'm really sorry, Matthew? I'll say it in Spanish. Lo siento mucho.
There's nothing you can ever say or do that will make things okay. Now please, get lost.
It just looked like things were ruined between us for good. But one evening, I was walking a few blocks away from our house when I saw two boys wearing masks drag Matthew into an alley and start beating him up. I charged at them while screaming, and with the baseball bat I had, I hit one of the boys straight in the knee while the other one ran away. Leo, don't you dare touch my brother again, estúpida. I left him there crying on the ground and helped Matthew up. He leaned on me as we walked back home. And as soon as we entered, Mom and Carlos cried out.
Oh my God, what happened?
Papa, I'm fine, really. Thanks to Audrey. But why were you going around with a baseball bat anyway?
I've been following you everywhere for days, Matthew. Leo came up to me a week ago and said he would do something to make you pay for exposing him at his party. I knew you wouldn't really listen to me, so I had to do something. I couldn't let you get hurt. I've done a pretty good job of that myself. Suddenly, Carlos stepped forward and hugged me.
Mija amor.
You saved my son today, and I want to forget everything else. I know you didn't mean those things.
And I'm okay about knowing about the adoption, Audrey. It came as a shock, but Dad and I have talked a lot about it since, and I'm fine. It doesn't really change anything. You don't always have to be related to be family.
I understand that now, and I'm so happy Mom brought me to you guys. I'm sorry about everything. And Carlos, you're the dad every girl wants to have. I love you! Carlos had tears and hugged me. Mom did too.
Don't forget me.
Hi, I'm Mandy. Please like and subscribe, and tomorrow you will have the best news. Growing up, we moved around a lot because my parents were journalists. I got really good at making friends quickly, but holding on to any of them was tough since I always ended up leaving, no matter how many of my so-called besties promised they'd stay in touch. After a while, they never did. It was heartbreaking every time. One day, Mom came home with big news. She got a job in Washington, D.C. for a national newspaper, and we wouldn't have to move anymore. I was so excited. Finally, I would have rooms of our own to decorate, make friends that would last. It was a dream. When I started at my new high school, I was nervous. I had to make an amazing first impression because this one had to stick. When I sat down at my desk in the homeroom, the other kids looked at me like I was an alien until a pretty brunette girl sat down next to me.
Hey, I'm Jasmine. Love your jeans. Where'd you get them?
A thrift store in New York.
Oh my god. Is that where you're from?
Sort of. I told her all about life on the road, and we hit it off right away. I could tell she was popular, and it was easy to see why. Very involved in all sorts of clubs and sports. So charming, and top 2 of our class. She was always competing for the top spot against this one kid, Chase. She warned me about how annoying he was, and I totally agreed. I was stuck next to him in math class, and he was always talking and distracting me from taking notes. From the second we met, Jasmine invited me everywhere with her and her friends. We did our homework together, ate lunch, had sleepovers. It was amazing! Soon after I started school, Jasmine convinced me to come to her French club to see if I wanted to join. She introduced me to her friend Camille, and we had so much fun. We watched French movies and practiced speaking with each other. I joined immediately. They were going to choose 2 students for a summer study abroad in Paris. I just knew it would be a really smart move for my future. One day, I went to Camille's house to study with her, and suddenly, the cutest boy I'd ever seen walked into her kitchen.
Hey, butthead.
Excuse me?
Sorry, that was meant for my dumb little sister.
Ugh, don't listen to him.
I'm Ryan. You must be the famous Mandy I've heard so much about.
Don't you have somewhere else to be?
Nowhere better than right where Mandy is.
Then he smiled the most perfect smile I'd ever seen. I could have melted into a puddle right there. The next day at French Club, I told Jasmine all about him. Oh my god, Jazz, he's on the soccer team. Good at school.
Wow, he sounds like
He perfect package. OMG, he's here. She turned to see Ryan walk into the room right then suddenly. Her eyes turned to ice in front of me.
Ryan. He's my ex.
Oh,
But I mean, if you like him, I guess.
no, of course I wouldn't.
Oh, good, because it'd be so weird. I'm so glad we're friends.
What are you all talking about?
Oh, nothing. It's nice to see you again.
Since when are you in French club?
Since I found out Mandy joined.
It was so awkward I thought I'd die. Just then, Madame Delacroix clapped her hands.
For announcement time for our upcoming Parents' Night, we will be breaking off into pairs to research and cook a classic French dish.
She started group. And surprise! Surprise! I got paired with Ryan. For just a second, I thought I could see the ice return to Jasmine's eyes, but she blinked, and it was gone. I felt sort of guilty that I'd be spending so much time with Ryan, but I vowed to keep my promise to Jasmine. Soon after that, I got assigned to help Chase hand out awards at the banquet. Hanging out with him all night would be the perfect punishment for me. A few days later, Ryan and I had to get together at his house to make chocolate mousse, my favorite.
Have you ever made this before?
No, but I've watched my dad make it, so I think Then I started the mixer. It started whipping everything up so fast that our chocolate mixture started flying out of the bowl. Soon we were both covered in chocolate. I was mortified, but Ryan just laughed and swiped some chocolate off my nose.
Looks good to me.
After we got cleaned up, we managed to make a second batch just in time to make it to the event. Madame Delacroix tasted every dish and said ours was the best of all of them. I was pretty proud, and I hoped it would get me some extra points toward the Paris program. Not even having to sit next to Chatterbox Chase all night could ruin my mood. After that, Ryan started asking me to hang out more and more. Soccer games, study sessions, sometimes even trips for ice cream. He was really funny, and we liked all the same books. I could tell he liked me, and I was really starting to like him. But I couldn't betray Jasmine. When I told my mom about it, she thought I was being ridiculous.
I don't think Jasmine really has your best interests at heart, Mandy.
She was my first friend here.
But that doesn't make her a good friend. What kind of friend keeps you from being with someone you really like?
It's girl code, so I was definitely surprised the next day, at lunch, when our group started talking about boys to hear Jasmine exclaim,
Who needs them? I've so moved on from Ryan. I mean, we only dated a few weeks anyway. Mandy, you can have him for all I care.
I was elated to hear her say that. But now I was nervous. I'd never really pursued anyone before, but all the signs were there, and I decided to go for it. Soon after, Ryan hurt his ankle at a soccer match and had to leave the field. We lost. I decided to visit him the next day, especially now that Jazz had given her blessing. When I walked into his living room with some cheery daisies, his whole face lit up, and he pulled me down to the couch in a huge hug. When we pulled away, I felt like I was falling into his beautiful brown eyes. I thought for just a second I might get my first real kiss, but I chickened out. I brought some ice cream too for Sundays.
You're the best, you know that?
We watched TV and ate way too much ice cream, but things felt a little different. He was texting almost constantly, when he usually was always talking to me non-stop. I wondered if I had ruined things by pulling away earlier. I tried to ignore it, but when my mom came to get me, I was sort of glad to leave. For the next few days, I tried to keep my head down and work hard towards the Paris trip, but I was glad for the distraction when Jasmine announced her birthday party to the whole class.
Arcade this weekend. My birthday wish list is on all the invites.
You going?
Of course. Jazz is my best friend.
Sure she is.
Cryptic much. You're so weird. I caught up with her in the hallway after. Can I hitch a ride to your party? This will be so fun. I already have your gift.
My carpool is full already.
Oh, okay. I'll just... But she was already halfway down the hall, leaving me in her dust. I figured she was just distracted about her party and tried not to think about her weird behavior. I texted Ryan to see if he and Shamil wanted to carpool, but all I got were 3 typing bubbles in response, and then nothing. In fact, I didn't hear anything from anyone all weekend. What was going on Saturday, when my mom dropped me off at arcade, a gift in hand for Jasmine, I pasted a big smile on my face as I got out of the car. Chase waved to me and smiled. He really wasn't so annoying, maybe just a little awkward. As we walked into the party room, imagine my shock when I saw Jasmine's stick standing there holding hands with none other than Ryan. A pit dropped to the bottom of my stomach. When she leaned over to kiss him, I thought I'd die. All I wanted to do was run home and curl up under the covers, but I couldn't. It was Jasmine's birthday, my best friend. Still, I was mortified. Everyone knew I liked him, and they had all seen us spend so much time together. Now, he wouldn't even look at me. As everyone started pairing off and heading to the arcade, I realized I didn't have a partner. Blinking back tears, I suddenly felt a warm hand on my shoulder.
Hey, let's pair up for a round.
Sure. Chase and I played through, and even though I had a pit in my stomach, we actually had a lot of fun. He was pretty good, and even when I danced offbeat, he pretended not to see it. When we went inside for Jasmine's cake, I tried to put on a brave face, but when Ryan leaned over to help her blow out her birthday candles, and Jasmine turned to smile at me with a gleam in her eye like nothing was wrong, I knew I had to leave. I snuck out to the bathroom to call my mom to get me, and as soon as I got into her car, I burst into tears and cried all the way home. And even though Chase texted me to check on me, and Camille did too, the one person who I actually thought would worry enough to reach out never did. I didn't hear from Jasmine until Monday in homeroom.
Mandy, why'd you leave my party? The cake was so good.
Why did I leave? Jasmine?
What?
You have to know why I left.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You knew I liked Ryan. You told me you'd moved on, and all of a sudden you show up with him without telling me.
How can you be mad? He was my boyfriend.
Your ex-boyfriend that you said I could pursue. Why tell me that if you wanted him back all along?
See, this is why we kept it quiet. We knew you'd be upset.
What?
We got back together the day he got hurt at his soccer match. He wanted to tell you, but we all knew you'd just be upset.
So you've just been lying to me for weeks? All of you. Jazz, how am I supposed to trust anything any of you say?
All's fair in love and war.
And with that, she flipped her hair over her shoulder and switched desks. I was devastated. My first real friend. And everything had gotten so messed up. What had I missed? When I saw Ryan walking home from school, I sped up to catch him. What the heck, Ryan? I thought we liked each other. And then you show up like that with Jasmine and totally blindside me.
I didn't know you liked me.
Oh, come on. The ice cream, the flowers. You knew I liked you. There have been several moments and I didn't just imagine that you liked me too.
I did, but you never said anything.
Well, neither did you.
And then when Jasmine came to me after I got hurt saying she wanted to get back together, why would I turn her down when I wasn't even the one to break up with her?
Like me. Don't like me? Fine. But you could have had the decency to say something before just showing up like that and humiliating me. I deserve better than that. I tried to put on a brave face at school. After all, Hadn't I been a lone wolf for my whole life? But I'd gotten so used to having a friend at school that I suddenly felt the absence. Luckily, Chase came to sit by me the first time he saw me sitting alone at lunch. I couldn't see why I'd hated him so much for so long, other than the fact that Jasmine didn't like him. He was so sweet and really smart. Even though I avoided Jasmine and Ryan at all costs, I refused to quit French club. As the weather got nicer, Chase tried to get me to come out to soccer games, parties, concerts. But my sole focus was on school. I was more determined than ever to get one of the spots to go to Paris and prayed that Jasmine wouldn't get the other one. Chase became my favorite study buddy. He was almost as determined as I was for me to win the top spot on the Paris trip. On the last day of school, our report cards came out straight A's. Chase and I got big ice cream sundaes after school to celebrate. As I looked across the table at him, I thought about everything that had happened with Jasmine and Ryan and our whole big group, and I decided I was so glad to have one actual good friend instead of a bunch of not-so-great ones. Afterwards, Chase and I walked down the National Mall as the sun set. So, Mr. Number 1 in the class, how does it feel?
I'm just glad to have beat her, to be honest, especially after everything that happened with you.
I can take care of myself.
I know, but from day one you seemed so nice, and I tried to make friends with you so quickly because I knew she'd come after you right away.
What do you mean?
Jasmine and I have been in the same class since kindergarten. She has always kept the girls she was most afraid of close. You know, keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
But I was never her enemy.
She's always been afraid of the smart, pretty girls in our grade. Even if you don't see it, trust me. To her, you were a threat.
Wow, I had no idea. But if I had to go through all that to become friends with you, it was worth it. Suddenly, my phone rang. It was Madame Delacroix. Hello?
Mandy, I'm pleased to inform you that you have been selected for this summer's study abroad in Paris. Pack your bags, mademoiselle. I am so proud.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. I mean, merci beaucoup. When we hung up, I squealed. Oh my God! I'm gonna have a stamp in my passport. Suddenly, Chase's phone rang. And when he saw the caller ID, he looked up at me with a gleam in his eye. I could barely contain my excitement. And when he finally said, "Thank you," and hung up, he turned to me with a huge smile.
Looks like I'll have a matching stamp.
Paris? Together? I threw my arms around him, overjoyed to be off on a big adventure with my favorite first real friend. Hi, I'm Rapunzel from Armenia. Please like and subscribe. When I was little, my mom and I moved a lot. We changed towns every few months. And I couldn't help noticing that I was different from the people around me, even Mom. Everyone had dark eyes and hair, so my blonde curls and green eyes attracted attention.
Wow, she's so precious! And well, she looks nothing like you. Is she really yours?
Mom always smiled and said I looked like my dad, but I knew she didn't like the comments. And soon, we moved again.
Don't look at anyone directly. And never take your hoodie off outside. People get jealous of your beauty. Love.
I was 6 when Mom started working as a cook in a mansion, and she told me strictly to never leave the kitchen. One afternoon, Mom had gone out for groceries when a tall woman walked in, and she stopped short when she saw me.
Aren't you a beautiful little girl? Why don't you come with me, honey?
As I was in her living room eating cakes and chatting nonstop, Mom came bursting in.
There you are. I've been looking for you everywhere. Sorry, mistress.
Oh no. I brought her here. From now on, she'll spend time with me while you work.
Mom wasn't happy at all, but I'd have the best time. The mistress helped me with my reading and gave me lovely gifts. But a few weeks later, she said she wanted to adopt me.
I can give her every luxury in the world. Her life will be 1,000 times better as my daughter.
How can you even ask this, ma'am, to part with my own child? I would never.
You fool! If you truly cared about her, you'd let her have the life she deserves. Also, I looked up your records and there's no birth certificate for any child of yours. Leave her with me and we can keep all our little secrets.
She reached out for my hand, but I grabbed hers and bit it hard. She screamed as Mom and I ran.
Pack your things quickly. Hurry!
And so we left. But this time we kept traveling till we reached some docks late at night.
We're leaving for the U.S., darling. We'll never know any peace here.
Someone Mom knew helped us sneak onto a cargo ship, and we left to start a new life in New York. We spent the first few months in a homeless shelter, but Mom found a job at a restaurant soon, and we could afford a small place. Mom even let me join the public school after changing my name. When I asked why, she said it was for my own good, and I didn't ask anymore. Even though I didn't really stand out here, people still admired my looks. In 5th grade, my friend Melissa, who participated in beauty pageants, told me to try out too. The prize money was good, so I begged Mom to let me join, and I soon became a pageant queen, and modeling offers started pouring in. By the time I was in high school, I'd done my first national ad for a shampoo, and my face was on a billboard. One morning in 10th grade, I walked into the school hallway to see some kids gathered around a boy. He turned his face, and I caught my breath. He was beautiful. He threw his head back and laughed at something, and it was the most captivating sound in the world. Suddenly, our eyes met, and I realized I'd been staring at him like a moron. But I had to find out who he was. I walked into class to find all the girls talking about this handsome new stranger. Just then, we heard a loud groan.
Jeez. I'll tell you who he is if you give me $20 each. And for $50, I'll introduce you gals to him. He's my brother.
The new boy introduced himself as Derek and said his brother Ryder was our senior. Just then, the teacher walked in, and everyone flew to their seats. I caught Derek looking at me, and he smiled. He was cute, but his brother was a Greek god. One day, I had to reach a modeling audition after school, and as I quickly crossed the road, my heel got stuck in a chewed gum. As I struggled to set it loose, I looked up to see a motorcyclist charging straight at me. But suddenly, someone pushed me out of the way. I opened my eyes to see Ryder looking down at me.
Hey, are you okay?
I think so. Nope, I feel dizzy. Ryder swept me up effortlessly and carried me to his car. He took me to the hospital, and it turned out I had a minor concussion.
Your mom's on the way, I called her.
Thank you. I am so lucky you were right there.
Well, it wasn't a coincidence. I was actually following you to ask you out.
Really?
Why do you sound surprised? I can't be your first admirer. You just might be the most beautiful girl I've ever met, Rapunzel.
He touched my cheek and my heart fluttered. Just then, Mom walked in, and she couldn't stop thanking Ryder. I was discharged soon, and he even dropped us off at home. Ryder and I started dating, and the next few weeks were like a dream. He was intelligent and thoughtful and always knew how to make me laugh. We were the golden couple of the school. A few days later, I got paired with Derek for a science project, and we met up at the library to discuss it. It's funny, we've hardly spoken before, especially since you're in my class and I'm dating your brother.
Well, Ryder has that effect on girls. They fall head over heels for him and see nothing else.
That's not true, and I'd like to get to know you. Let's all have dinner sometime.
I'm not sure that's a good idea. Listen, Rapunzel, there's something...
What's going on here?
Hey, we're working on our project, and I was just...
He's your project partner? No, that won't work. I'll talk to your teacher and have your partner changed.
What? This is none of your business, dude.
It's very much my business, dude. I don't want my girlfriend to fail, which she will with you.
Derek looked furious and stormed off. Ryder, you can't tell me who to be partners with. And what's wrong with your brother?
Listen, babe, you don't know him. He's not serious about anything. And he just thinks he'll inherit millions one day without lifting a finger. I'm already working with Dad and his company, and freeloaders like Derek just bother me. Trust me, he's gonna make you do all the work and just take credit for it in the end. Just ask your teacher to change your partner, please.
Derek didn't seem like that, but Ryder knew his brother better, and he looked upset. So I requested the teacher for a partner change the next day. Life was good, except that lately, I'd been getting rejected after auditions, and Melissa had gotten a few ad campaigns I'd really wanted. But she was my friend, and I was happy for her. We were at a party together one evening, and I noticed Ryder was really quiet on the way home. Hey, you worried about something?
Yeah, just you, babe. You trust people way too easily.
What do you mean?
You don't think it's strange that Melissa has suddenly been getting every single commercial? She's rich. What if her mom paid bribes to get her those parts?
What? No! Melissa would never do that. She's the one who got me into modeling.
And she probably regrets it now since you've been doing so much better than her. Jealousy can really change people, Rapunzel. Trust me, I know.
His words made me uneasy, but I decided to ignore him. But a few days later, Melissa and I were at an audition for a lipstick commercial, and she kept forgetting her lines. I had a flawless audition, so I was shocked when Melissa was selected again.
Hey, I was so sure you'd get that.
Yeah, me too!
Wait, Why do you sound mad at me? I'm just as surprised.
Oh, drop the act! It makes no sense you'd get selected unless you paid your way in.
What, are you crazy?
I can't believe you'd stoop so low. Ryder was right.
He said this about me? Rapunzel, you've known me since we were kids. Why are you letting this guy?
He's my boyfriend! And he's clearly less naive than I am. Melissa and my other friend stopped talking to me after that, and it just made me angrier that they all took her side. Thank God I had Ryder. Soon it was our 2-month anniversary, and Ryder wanted to celebrate in style by taking me out on a date to a classy French restaurant.
I want you to sit on this side, facing just me. I don't want anyone else to admire your beauty tonight.
That's a bit weird and so cheesy.
It's just how I feel. And here's your present.
Ryder, you've already done so much. I gasped as I stared at a gorgeous amber necklace.
See? How could I not get that? It's like it's made for you, Amber.
My heart was pounding as he put it around my neck. Why? Why did you just call me Amber?
Did I? Obviously a mistake, Rapunzel. Now shall we order?
I felt so distracted that I could barely read the menu. I needed some air. I excused myself to go to the bathroom, but just as I got up, I bumped into the waiter bringing our drinks.
Oh, I am so sorry, madame.
No, it was my mistake. Here, let me help you.
Oh, please, don't worry about it. I'll get you some drinks.
As he ran off, Ryder turned to me coldly.
Why were you flirting with the waiter?
What? I was just trying to be nice. But suddenly Ryder swiped all the plates off our table.
Don't play me for a fool. You kept touching his arm.
You're insane. I'm leaving. I ran out of the restaurant and looked around for a cab, but Ryder caught up with me.
If you walk away now, I'll make your life miserable, Amber.
Why do you keep calling me that? Just stop it.
Ha ha ha! Because that was your name before you came here, wasn't it? I know all about your past and you can't escape it. Yeah, I'll have you and your mother deported to Armenia and...
Suddenly, Ryder tripped over something and fell down, hitting his head. I frantically called an ambulance and used Ryder's phone to call Derek to the hospital.
What happened?
He tripped over something. The doctors say he'll be fine, but I can't stay here another minute.
Rapunzel, what really happened?
I broke down and told him how crazy Ryder had acted in the restaurant.
I wanted to warn you! You're not the first girl he's done this with. He's the perfect boyfriend at first, but then he gets so jealous and scares every girl away.
It's not just that. Derek, he knows things about me and he's threatening to ruin Mom's life and mine.
If you tell me what it is, maybe I can help you.
Derek, I need to talk to Mom first.
Of course, and you need to be sure you can trust me.
I looked into his warm brown eyes, and I felt I could. So the next day, I asked Derek to come to my place, and Mom told him everything.
I'm not Rapunzel's mother. I'm her aunt. Rapunzel's parents passed away when she was a baby, and I was her guardian in their will. But her other aunt and uncle kept insisting that I give Rapunzel to them. They only wanted her because of all the money in her name. They were powerful people, and I knew they'd keep trying to take Rapunzel away from me. So I ran away with her. We traveled far, but I'd always felt they'd find us. Then we came here and changed our names, and it seemed like we'd finally left everything behind. Until now.
We can't go back there, Derek.
I'll do everything I can, I promise.
I couldn't bear to go to school for the next few days. I felt sick with anxiety. Then finally, one evening, Derek showed up, and he was smiling.
My lawyer worked on your case. And given how long you guys have lived and worked in the US, your status will be made legal immediately. You can't be deported. No one's going anywhere.
Mom and I cried and laughed as we hugged, and I threw my arms around Derek too. Thankfully, Ryder still hadn't returned to school, and I started hanging out with Derek. I also apologized to Melissa.
Rapunzel, I was so affected by what you said that I confronted my mom. She didn't pay for me to get those roles, but someone did, and I have no idea who.
I do! It was Ryder! He did it because he wanted to turn me against everyone close to me. But I never should have doubted you. A few days later, I just put some stuff in my locker when I turned around to see Ryder.
Hi, Amber. Did you miss me?
You wish, and don't think you can ever bully me or scare me again. I don't care what you know, you can't use it.
Wow. What a transformation from the chicken girl I last saw. But yeah, I just came to tell you that I've lost all interest in you. Seems like you really lowered your standards when you settled for my brother. And I don't date trash.
He walked away, and I realized I'd been holding my breath. But minutes later, I heard loud voices down the hallway, and I ran to see Ryder smashing Derek against the lockers and beating him up. It took 4 teachers to pull Ryder away as he screamed like a maniac.
You want everything I have, don't you? You always have, you little worm. Do you think I'd let you be happy? I'll ruin your life, Derek. You'll regret the day you ever crossed me.
Derek went home early, and I was completely shaken by the day's events. Later that night, I was having trouble sleeping, and I heard a loud tap on my window. I sat up in horror, only to realize it was Derek. Gosh, you scared me! How are you feeling now?
I can't feel my face, but my heart's happy. I just had to tell you. Ryder went completely bonkers at home too, and my parents have admitted him to an institution for therapy.
That's such a relief. I'm sorry you got hurt because of me, Derek.
Don't be! I'd take 100 punches for you. Well, not 100, but you know what I mean. And Ryder's right about one thing. I've wanted to be with you since I first saw you.
He leaned in and kissed me, and it was lovely. We graduated from high school and both went to the same college in another city. Right after graduation, Derek and I got married in a small ceremony with our parents. Ryder was apparently out of the institution now and managing his dad's company in Europe. But of course, he wasn't invited. And a year later, we were blessed with a beautiful baby girl, Sarah.
Hi, I'm Milo from Sweden. Please like and subscribe. When I was 4 years old, all I wanted was a huge family. Dad, why don't I have a mom? All my friends have moms, brothers, sisters.
How dare you say that to me? Am I not enough for you? Just go away.
My dad was always like this, angry and irritated. He never got along with anyone, and he got fired from every single job he took. We were so poor that he pushed me to school in the stolen shopping cart. No way we could afford a car. When I was in the 10th grade, Dad came home with a crazy surprise. A baby sister from one of his girlfriends. I was over the moon. He didn't even bother naming her, so I did it. I'll call you Annie. Isn't it a cute name, Dad? He didn't care. He was too worried about how we were going to have enough money to raise a baby. Since he couldn't hold the job, he had to borrow money from a local billionaire. Only problem, my dad took the money and ran. He just left me and Annie alone. The billionaire was furious when I told him we couldn't pay him back.
I gave him thousands of dollars. I'll have to call the police, and you two will be sent to foster homes.
No way that they'll separate me from my sister. Please don't call the police. I can pay you back. I can work for you.
You're only a stupid boy. What will you do?
I'll clean the pool, do the dishes, mow the lawn. You can slowly take your money out of my paychecks. Please, just give me a chance. It actually worked. The billionaire let me work for him in exchange for a small salary and a place to live in his pool house. This pool house was way bigger than any apartment I'd ever lived in, so I was thrilled. I went to school every morning with Annie strapped to my chest and worked at the mansion all evening. Everything was going well until one night when I was just about to sleep, someone started screaming outside.
Bubba, I'm scared. Bubba, I'm scared.
Stay here, sweetheart. I've got this. I ran out to see a strange, beautiful girl jumping into the pool.
Woohoo, cannonball!
Intruder, intruder, someone's breaking in.
Wow, you're cute. Want to jump in?
I take a broom and some special items to trap her.
What are you doing?
I'm keeping you here while I call the cops.
Stop it, I'm Zoe. This is my house.
Liar, I've never seen you here.
That's because I just moved back in with my dad, you idiot. I lived with my mom before, but get me out of here before I get you fired.
She crawled out of the pool angrily and showed me pictures of her phone with the billionaire.
Believe me now, pool boy?
My name's Milo.
I don't need to know your name if you don't work here anymore.
I'm sorry. I just never seen you before. Please, please don't tell your dad about this. I need this job. She got so close that I thought she was going to kiss me, but she said...
Anything.
Sure, what do you want? Apparently a lot. Zoe was wild. She partied a lot and stayed out late every day. I had to help her sneak back in each time. One time, she had a huge fight with her dad and ran away to spend the night with her mom. I had to lie in her bed and pretend to be her. So embarrassing. I did all of it for my sister, but as she got older, her needs started changing.
Bubba, when can I go to school like you? I want to play with the other kids.
That made my heart sink. I didn't have enough money to pay for school, but I wanted to give my sister the whole world. I decided to ask the billionaire for a loan, and he said he'd think about it. But little did I know that Zoe was going to wreck everything. It was a night like any other. She was sneaking back into the mansion at 3 a.m. and I was pushing her through the window when suddenly she fell. We fell onto a super expensive television. The screen shattered to pieces. Thankfully, Zoe wasn't hurt, but her dad was really mad.
Who did this?
Milo was cleaning and he slipped.
I could barely protest before the billionaire lost it.
You! Do you have any idea how much this costs? There's no way I'm giving you a loan now.
What? Wait, what loan?
Please, sir, that money is for my sister. She can't go to school without it.
No way! Figure it out yourself.
I was so mad. I just stormed out of there, locked myself in the pool house. Minutes later, it was a knock on the door. It was Zoe. What are you doing here? Won't you be satisfied till you ruined my whole life?
I didn't know about your sister or all these problems.
Why should I tell you you're just some rich girl who decided to make my life miserable? Please just leave me alone. I slammed the door shut and stormed back in. If she wanted to have me fired, so be it. I avoided her completely. I just went to school and did my work like I used to. I applied for a few extra jobs to do over the weekend. I had to send Annie to school. Somehow, it all changed when Zoe showed up at the pool house one night.
Please don't shut the door. I'm sorry I acted like such a jerk. I brought you something.
She handed me a whole stack of money.
It's my pocket money. Dad tries to buy my love with cash. That should be enough for your sister's school.
I was numb with shock. I can't keep this!
You better, pool boy. I saved up all month for you.
No, take it back.
You can't make me.
She just turned and ran.
Use the money. Thank me later.
This girl was crazy. With her help, I was able to afford a decent preschool for Annie. I didn't have to get a second job, so I had free time to study. I even tried out for the school swim team, and I was so shocked to see I was the fastest kid there. I got in right away. Things at home were the easiest they've ever been. Zoe didn't ask me to help her when she was sneaking in anymore. She even babysat Annie while I was busy. One time I came home to see Annie and Zoe wearing matching dresses. Zoe had shopped for her. I don't get it. Why are you being so nice to us?
I'm making up for being a jerk.
You don't need to spend so much money. You're already forgiven.
Hey, I like Annie. She's super cute and funny. I'm not just doing it for you.
Still, I have to give you something in return.
Okay, then go out on a date with me.
What?
You're sweet, caring, and kind of adorable. I like you. What do you think of me?
I was shocked. How could an heiress want to date someone like me? Before I could say a word, I heard a shout behind us.
What did you just say, Zoe?
It was her dad.
Did you just tell the pool boy you like him?
His name is Milo.
Who cares? You're not dating some poor beggar. Wait, is this why you've been asking me for extra pocket money? Have you been spending it on these two?
He turned purple with rage and marched into the pool house. He started throwing all my things around.
Where's all the cash? Where did you hide it? Give it back to me.
Stop it! I grabbed him and tried to pull him back and he shoved me away.
Your sister is wearing a new dress. Did you get Zoe to buy that for you? You pathetic thief!
He stormed towards my sister and I lost it. I tackled him and threw him into the pool. How dare you charge at my sister? I'm gonna kick your butt! Just then, Annie started crying loudly, and in an instant, all my anger suddenly melted away. I grabbed her and marched into my house to pack all my things. I couldn't live with this monster anymore. I'm quitting!
Don't you dare quit! You still owe me money. Then call the police.
I don't care, I'm leaving!
Yeah, clean your own pool.
Took Annie and got the heck out of there. I called up my swimming coach and explained my situation to him. Thankfully, he and his wife let us live with them for a while. I tried to focus on getting a new job, but I couldn't stop thinking about Zoe. I called her many times since that day, but she never picked up. I had no idea how much trouble she was in. Annie missed her all the time, too. I thought I'd never see her again until the date of a very important swimming match. All the schools were competing, and our biggest donors were coming to watch. I was so focused on the match that I didn't see all the missed calls on my phone from Annie's school. I swam my heart out and won first place. After the award ceremony, I checked my phone and nearly had a stroke. Annie was sick. Her school had gone crazy calling me to take her home. I literally flew out of there and dashed off to her school, ready for the worst. But I found her playing games in the grass.
Bubba, look who I called.
Zoe was behind her giving me the cheekiest grin. I couldn't believe it.
Don't worry, Annie's fine. She just ate some bad food.
I threw up on my teacher. Hee hee hee.
I gave Annie a tight hug and she gasped.
Bubba, you won gold.
That doesn't matter. How do you feel now?
I feel perfect because Bubba wins. Yay, I knew you're the best.
I turned around to thank Zoe but saw her leaving. I grabbed her arm and pulled her back. No way you're leaving just like that. We haven't spoken in months. What's going on with you? Zoe revealed how her dad had become super strict since the incident. He never let her go out anymore, and she could only sneak away when he was busy at work. And he was setting her up with some rich boy to marry him. That's crazy, we're just kids!
He thinks I need to be kept under control. I wish I could leave, but he has full custody.
Then you should take him to court again. You need to stand up to him if you want to be with your mom. Fight for it! She knew I was right. She convinced her mom to call their lawyer, but she was scared of moving her stuff out of the house. I decided to help her and went to her mansion together. Her father had a total fit when he saw us. He tried to stop Zoe from packing, but I stood in between them like a wall.
Move, or I will punch you.
Why don't you try, old man? I'll knock you out right now.
I'm calling the police. I have full custody and Zoe cannot leave without my permission.
Fine, do it. Mom's already talking to her lawyer and she's going to fight for me, and she will win after I tell the court everything you put me through. Just back off.
She pushed him away, and we all stormed out. Her father kept screaming behind us, but we didn't care. When I finally got her to her mom's house, and Zoe was literally jumping with joy. We could finally live our lives the way we wanted, and Zoe's dad tried to wreck that many times. He kept calling us for days till we had to block him. Then he filed a police complaint against me saying I robbed him and kidnapped Zoe. I was in jail for 2 whole days while the police investigated the matter. This was so crazy. They just believed his lies until Zoe showed up. She told the cops the whole truth. She wasn't kidnapped, he didn't steal, and her father was a lying jerk. They had no choice but to let me go. I wanted to make a graceful exit, but Annie turned to the billionaire and said,
She wants that!
I was screaming from happiness outside. Thank you so much, you saved my butt.
She was so cool, wasn't she, Bubba?
Coolest. Suddenly Zoe threw her arms around me. Into my shock, she kissed me right on the lips. I was so shocked.
That was so cute. Kiss again.
Shut up, Annie.
Kiss, kiss, kiss.
Sorry, I couldn't help it. I was so worried about you, and I'm sorry about this whole mess, and...
I leaned in and kissed her. It was a quick peck on the lips, but she turned red.
You kissed me.
I'll do it again. I pulled her to me and gave her another kiss. It was perfect.
Hi, I'm Maggie. Please like and subscribe. Everyone knew Mark was a jerk. I would always see him harassing one of the shy kids in the halls at school. One day, I had had enough, so I marched up to him and yelled, "Hey, stop bullying people. You're hurting their feelings." Mark was stunned. No one had ever stood up to him before. The shy kid ran away, and we were left staring at each other. I was scared of what he would do or say, but he didn't really do or say anything. He only looked down like he was really sad and walked away. I was so shocked, and I had to admit, felt kind of bad. I never yelled at anyone before, and I only did it because I thought he would get mad, but seeing him sad made me feel terrible. The next day, the entire hallway stunk. Everyone was trying to find out where the smell was coming from. As soon as I got close to my locker, I knew something was wrong. I opened it to find that it was yesterday's fish sandwich. It had been put in there and left all night. I almost puked. That's when I saw Mark smiling from down the hall. He was wearing those big, stupid headphones he always wore, and he even waved to me. All the guilt I had disappeared. I was gonna get him back, just needed to figure out how. All day, I snuck behind him, following, watching like a stealthy ninja. Every move he made, I was right there, but he never saw me. I noticed him writing in his notebook all day in every class, but he was never prepared with the assignments, so I knew whatever he was writing, it wasn't homework. The notebook became my obsession. I needed to know what was in it so I could use it against him, but he never left the thing alone. It was always right beside him. Finally, in English class, he went to the bathroom, but he was smart, or should I say paranoid enough to put the notebook in his bag. I pretended to drop my pencil and crawled to his bag. I couldn't take the whole notebook without being discovered, so I just opened the zipper and I hoped that would be enough for the notebook to fall out when he took his bag. And then, when the bell rang and class was done, he put his earphones on again, picked up the bag, and the notebook fell out. He didn't hear it, of course, so I ran and grabbed it. I ran home and read it. It wasn't jokes or anything mean. It was poems, and they were all really sad and beautifully written. I almost cried reading them. Suddenly I understood why he was so mean to people. It sounded like his dad was really mean to him at home and made him feel nothing at all. There was a time when we were little, in kindergarten, when Mark would tear up the notes that came with school lunches from other kids' moms. I thought he was such a jerk for doing that. But one day, One kid's lunch had 2 notes and one was for Mark. I guess that mom heard what he was doing and thought maybe it was because he didn't get notes. Mark never ripped up the notes again. But now, reading his journal, I remembered he was in foster care, which meant the people he lived with weren't even his real parents. And maybe they didn't want him at all. I guess if you feel like an insect, being a bully is probably the only thing you can do to feel like you have any say in your life. I wrote him a letter and said it wasn't his fault that he felt like that. I finished the letter and put it in his notebook. When I saw him at school the next day, I felt totally different about him. I saw the sadness in him and how no one paid any attention at all to him. And I admit I swooned a little while when I realized he was actually pretty cute. I got the notebook out and walked up to him with it.
Is that mine?
It fell out of your bag yesterday.
And you didn't give it back?
I got busy. Sorry. I gave it to him. He opened it and saw my letter. He read it there as I stood watching my cheeks getting redder and redder by the second.
You read my journal?
He kept his eyes on the page like he couldn't face me. I understand why you're mean to people. But before I could finish, he ripped my letter from the notebook and dropped it on the floor.
Don't ever read my stuff without permission again.
All the good feelings I had for him disappeared. Didn't he know how hard I worked on that letter? How much I cared? Not to mention I bore my soul to him. I got red again, but this time it wasn't embarrassment. It was rage. That night, I told my mom everything she told me.
Honey, you tried to do something nice and that's great, but you read his private journal without asking. You invaded his privacy.
I'm the only person who saw him. Everyone else ignores him.
I understand, but that doesn't make him any less worthy of having privacy, does it?
I went to my room without talking to her for the rest of the night. How could she not see what I had done? I put my heart on the line and got rejected. I did the right thing. All I wanted was to help him and let him know I understood. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept tossing and turning, thinking about how he acted, but also what my mom said and how violated I would feel if someone read my diary. After barely sleeping a wink and finally calming down so I wasn't so angry anymore, I decided she was right. As soon as I got to school, I would apologize to him, and that would be that. I practiced my speech the entire walk to school that morning. Every word I would say, every gesture, I wanted to be understood and let him know that I understood him too. But when I got to school, I was horrified to see that there were printed posters of me all over the halls. They had my school photo and said, "Maggie is a stalker." Everyone was looking at me. I ran to the bathroom and cried. How could he do that to me? Maybe I was wrong to think he had any good in him at all. I wanted to run away and go home, but we had a big test that day. So I had to sit in class after class while the other kids whispered about me. I sat in all my classes, getting angrier and angrier, waiting for my last class when I would finally see him. I couldn't wait to confront that jerk. When I finally saw him, he smirked at me. I stomped right up to him and yelled, "Tell them it was you!
It was me.
Tell them it's not true!"
It is true. You read my journal.
I was so frustrated. All I could think of was to scream. The teacher came up to both of us and gave me detention for yelling in class, and gave him detention for pulling the prank. When we were both in detention, I made sure I was looking out the window, or at the ceiling anywhere, as long as we were not looking at each other. And of course, he starts whistling. I had to grind my teeth to keep from yelling again. Then, the teacher left to get a coffee, and we were left alone. It was so awkward. After a while, he took out his notebook and was reading something inside really intently. I had to admit I was curious about what it was. And then he wrote something, and I was so mad at myself for even caring. But I did. I wanted to know what it was. As much as he annoyed me, I really did like his poems. But then I remembered his prank and ignored him. It was so mean. How could he do that?
Did you really mean what you wrote in your letter?
I couldn't believe he was actually talking to me. Yes, of course, but how do you remember? You threw it away.
After I put all the posters up, I went back and found it in the trash.
He took out a paper from his journal. It was my letter.
No one's ever seen me the way you did.
Then the bell rang, and detention was finally over. He moved to the door, but before he could leave, I said, "I'm sorry about reading your journal, but I really like your poems." He turned and looked me in the eyes and said,
"Can you come to my house tomorrow?"
I was shocked and couldn't speak for a minute before I realized it. I said yes. He ripped a piece of paper from the journal and gave it to me. It had his address and a note for me. I read it when he left. It said,
To the girl who saw through me. Usually everyone sees past what I am or I might become. But when you looked, you saw something more. To them, I am glass, cold, and cracked. But to you, I am water, living, and essential. I have never been seen before. It scared me. Thank you. I'm sorry.
Again, I swooned. The next day was a Saturday, so I went to his house and heard yelling as soon as I got close. The house was small, and the yard kinda dirty. I knocked on the door and Mark came out holding a guitar. His right eye was bruised. He moved past me, walking toward a path in the woods across the street.
Are you coming?
I followed him all the way down to the shore of a lake I didn't even know was there. He sat down, and I sat down beside him, wondering what he was thinking.
You said you liked my poems.
I did.
They're not poems, they're songs.
Oh, can I hear one?
I've never played for anyone before.
You don't put yourself out there. That's why people don't pay attention. He hesitated, then played the guitar and sang one of the songs. He sang about his fears, his sadness, and about feeling like a monster for having to put people down to make himself feel big. When he was done, he wiped a tear and said he would have to go back, or his foster dad would be angry. He left me there by the lake. As I watched the sunset over the water, I knew I was falling in love with him. When I got home, my mom told me the one thing that would ruin everything. Just as it was all getting so good,
We were moving across the country.
she told me she was sorry, but we had no choice. When I saw him across the lawn at school, he smiled at me. I practically melted, but my smile faded quickly. He knew something was wrong. He came up and walked with me.
Are you okay?
I have to move. His eyes immediately lost their light. I could tell he was devastated. What are you thinking?
It's selfish.
It's okay. Tell me.
You're the only one who sees me.
Maybe that's true right now, but it doesn't have to be. Your songs are beautiful.
I don't know how to talk to people. I don't relate to anyone.
Of course you do. We all have pain. We all get bullied. Even you. He thought about what I said. Then a smile crept on his face, and he looked right at me. My heart stopped when I saw his eyes. They were bright and full of hope.
I never thought about that. Thank you. I can't believe you're moving away.
I know. We both looked down, sad for ourselves because of how little time we had together. And then I raised my head and said, You know what? We're here now, right? So why are we sad? We can be sad when I leave, but today I want to be happy.
You can just decide to be happy?
Yep, why not? You're here, I'm here. We have all day to talk and hang out. He thought about what I said, then smiled. He looked at me and asked,
What do you want to do?
Without thinking, I leaned over and kissed him. His cheeks turned bright red. We both laughed. He took me to a boba tea place. Then we ate some ramen and even went to karaoke. I had never had so much fun. I was worried it would only last for today, but I put all the worry behind me and enjoyed the moment. That night, we had to say goodbye. It was the hardest thing I ever had to do. He walked me home and kissed me. Before he left, the last thing he said to me was,
If I never see you again, please know you'll always be with me and all the people I help with my music.
I watched him leave, holding on to the moment as long as I could. When it was time, we packed the moving car and left. Then, to my surprise, I saw him. He was on the sidewalk, talking to one of the shy kids he used to pick on. But this time, they were both smiling. He was apologizing and making friends. I knew then that everything would be okay. And as for me, I was going somewhere new. Sure, it was scary and a little sad, but it was also exciting. Who would I meet? What would I do there? I decided to enjoy every day and made a promise that I would make the most of any situation that came up in my life, good or bad.